That's the first time I've heard that, guys.
How about this? How about this? Here we go. There we go.
Okay, we're not doing the first one, right?
No.
What the heck is that, like Gilligan's Island or something?
I was going to say the Partridge Family.
Much better, right?
Trying new bands out, because the other ones are taking our money.
Yeah.
They're not showing up. This one's from YouTube itself, huh?
Yeah, that's from YouTube.
All
Woo!
right. That first one, what the heck was that?
What? Come on.
What was that? Was that a joke? Oh no! The game show. Welcome to the game show.
That's some
somebody else's
60s.
Andy
That's some
Griffith.
60s, 70s stuff right there.
Jeez.
That's good stuff, right? I had to.
Yeah.
When I was listening to...
You came really close, this close to getting wilked.
The look on your face was priceless.
What the heck is my producer doing here? Don't do that again, though. Don't do that. Try that.
No, it's in the back pocket.
Yeah, try it one more time. Just go ahead. It's been 4 days you've been off. Try it one more time. See how fast you last.
When you least expect it. When you least expect it.
Go ahead. My fingers on the,
Here's another one. It's better.
Fingers on the trigger, by the way.
How about that one?
A little 80s with the synthesizer a little bit.
A little bit. It has a little bit more.
Can we get some rock or something? That's a little better. Let's vote. Can we put a vote out there? Come on. What do we got?
We got 67 in the chat. How many people love this?
No. God.
The problem of getting rid of Eric doesn't stop the music.
No, it doesn't.
It keeps going.
Hey, you know what? Hold on. How about this?
No.
How about this? Since it's been...
No!
Come on.
Please. That thing is killing me. I'm serious.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
it's giving me nausea. That's
pretty
bad.
It's pretty bad.
That's bad. Do you have any other things that we can sample that you checked out?
I played it afterwards. It was better. Here, look at this. This is more up your alley here.
A little bit. Got a little bit of country and rock in there.
Bluesy and rock.
That's not bad.
There you go.
Now, if we could, if I could open the show and I didn't have to do any royalty and I had royalty free, I would open up. No. I would open up with, "Have you ever seen the rain?"
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there you go. Woo.
That would be one of my songs. That would be one of my go-tos. In fact, I was listening to it just last night, and man, you could play a bunch of CCR. I mean, Proud Mary.
Oh, there's so many. Proud Mary, Traveling Band.
Traveling, yeah, you need a traveling.
Heard it through the grapevine. I mean, goodness gracious.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Give me some Black Sabbath and Iron Man.
There we go with the Iron. I Am Iron Man. Yeah.
That is the Road Warriors entrance music.
One of these days, I'm gonna. Whoops, drop my phone. One of these days, I'm gonna
through
play.
The jungle.
I'm gonna play
War Pigs.
Something from. I'm gonna play something that is gonna cost us some money, but I'm gonna play it.
Fortunate Son. You guys are
all right, guys. So here we are after a 3-day weekend.
Feels like it's been a month, doesn't it?
Well, it probably feels a lot longer for guys like Cody Bellinger and Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery and Matt Chapman. Those guys are waking up every morning going, get me into camp. Get me into camp, Scott. I'm a ball player. I need to be in camp. Something's not right here. Every day that goes by with those guys unsigned is a day that's closer to those guys having a very bad, rough year and possibly an injury. You come into camp late. I mean, yeah.
Especially for pitchers because they got to build themselves up.
Yeah. Pitchers don't like it, man. Don't like what's going on there. We'll get into that a little bit, but first we're going to cover this whole thing with the Giants. As you saw the thumbnail, Panda has been invited to camp. He's back as a non-roster invitee, a 37-year-older who
he looks pretty good, doesn't he? That's probably the best I've ever seen.
He's in the best shape he's ever been in as a ball player. You know, and I'm not against the move because here's my thinking.
He can hit.
If the guy can hit and he's now a left-handed hitter only, he's given up the right side.
Oh, has he?
That's a lefty. Instead of carrying an extra lefty in the outfield, when you've got guys like Lamont Wade who can go out there and replace a Yaz, why not move off of Yaz? If Panda can hit and he proves he can hit, he would be an excellent pinch hitter because no moment's too big for him.
True.
And he's used to pinch hitting coming off the bench as he did in 21 with the Braves, and he's done it many times in his career. Where you bring a guy like Yaz off the bench who's cold, I would rather see what I would rather see the Giants do if Panda proves himself in the spring is move Yaz. I don't think they'll move Conforto because of the contract, but I would love if they could move him too. But if you can't move Conforto, I would move Conforto first if you could, just because of the salary. But if you can't, move off of Yaz. And I think Yaz would be a tradable piece to a team like, say, the Boston could take him.
Red Sox need some talent.
Yeah. Boston needs some talent. The Yankees could use a fourth outfielder like a Yaz. Short porch and right, Yankee Stadium. Yaz is pretty much a pull hitter. Most of his home runs are to right field, if you noticed. In that short porch, New York would be good. He came from the Baltimore organization. They could use a veteran back. But somebody who's got some either, you pick up a starting pitcher that's a minor leaguer, maybe a AAA starting pitcher that's ready to go in a year or so. And then you get rid of Yaz and play Matos or Ramos. Get rid of Conforto and Yaz and play Ratos.
Who's messing up on
with a new name?
Ratos and Crummins.
Ratos.
We need a Ratos.
Or Manos.
We got Ramos and Matos and Ratos and Mamos.
And welcome back, Los.
Man. But you know what? Was this really more of a PR move, though? Really, for Panda, more so than actual baseball?
I don't think it's a PR move in the sense like it was for Sergio Romo. No,
right.
I think
no, not like that.
I think Panda loves to play ball, and he's willing. He's willing to go to AAA. It sounds like if he doesn't make the team, he wants to play. So,
did you hear who else he was contacting too to get on the club? Texas.
Who else?
He was texting Bochy.
Oh, Boch. Okay, interesting.
And if it's a blowout game, we can count on Sandoval to throw an inning and be pretty effective too. He's got a pretty good curveball.
Exactly.
He does.
I think a team like the Giants, they should be. Hold on, they should be playing their. I like some of the younger players. I want to see what happens. I heard today, Elliot Ramos hit one to dead center, almost over the
batter's eye.
The batter's eye off of Jordan Hicks, which is positive for Ramos because that's hitting it off a right-hander.
Exactly. And it is live BP, so it's not like he's going to be,
Well, he's throwing – I don't know if he's throwing his hard. He's not lobbing them up there,
Right.
I mean, I don't get any guy who's hitting BP and hitting well off just, regular BP coming in at 75, 80 miles an hour.
Right.
That's nothing. I don't get – it's just like forget it, the excitement of that,
And, it's great that he's doing that, but let's see him do it in a big leagues.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that Marty pointed out the other night, and unfortunately it's the truth, I know where Dan was going with it, was if Ramos blows up, it won't even matter. I mean, according to the Giants, because of the money.
Good point, Los.
Yaz is already hurt. I mean,
I know
he's already hurt. We haven't even started practicing or games, and the guy's already.
How did he get his shoulder impingement? Did he sleep on it wrong, or what? How do you get his shoulder impingement with?
But Marty,
maybe working out. But
Marty said, and I quote, Ramos can hit 700, and he's not going to play over Yaz. And to me, that's the problem. Like, so guys that outperform somebody, I know it's spring training, but if it's over 20, 25, 30 games, you got to see what they can do. So that's a little disturbing that no matter what a young guy does, if that solid veteran like a Wade, like a Slater, or like a Yaz, even if they struggle because they're financially committed to them, they have to play, which to me is crap. Play the best guys.
Okay, would you say how about let's get a long look at Ramos, Matos, and Luciano. Supposedly Luciano
and Ratos.
And Ratos, of course. Well, Ratos can, he's our two-way player. Speaking of which, you see Bryce Eldridge is going to stick with first base. It sounds like.
They're not going to go to this two-way thing.
This is what we said too. Keep Crawford as a pitcher because that's where he was excelling, and keep Bryce Eldridge as a hitter because that's where he was excelling.
Yeah, you're not going to see these guys because of what happened to Ohtani. It's happened twice, 2 Tommy Johns. You know what? Let him master one thing. And, we don't need any jack of all trades, master of none.
No.
Ohtani was great at pitching, but he wasn't very consistent in that he didn't have a lot of innings to pitch because they had to watch his innings. He gets hurt, think about this, guys. The Angels had 2 of the top 3 players in the game. I mean, when you talk about Trout, the last couple of years have been rough, but for 8 years, Trout was in his,
prime. Yeah.
Prime. They had Ohtani and Trout, and they didn't have a winning. They didn't even not make the playoffs. They didn't have a winning season.
Right. Yeah.
And that proves my point that I have always said is you have to have balance in a lineup. You need to have more than 1 or 2 guys because you could just simply pitch around them. So,
and this is where, we could get into this later. It sounds like Farhan says they're not going to make any more moves. So Soler is your guy. It's like, we said it. If that's the only one that they get,
yeah, we could get into it. Did you say we can get into this Slater?
Yeah. Or we could get into the Slater.
Slater.
Because I'm so
frustrated. Has everybody seen the photos of Luciano? He put on 15,
I heard he put on
pounds of muscle.
Him and Matos. Do you think it affects their swing at all? I mean, you're going to get more power, but is it going to affect their timing when you put that much muscle on?
Yeah, I don't like guys too muscular in baseball.
Right, because don't get me wrong. Willie Mays, he had some muscle to him.
Yeah,
but it wasn't so much to where he was like coming out there hulked up and you couldn't do much.
Well, they say Luciano did a lot of exercises to strengthen his back, which is what he needs to do. And
that's good.
At the same time, by strengthening his core, he strengthened his shoulders, and his arms look pretty sizable. He already has a lot of bat speed. Man, if he puts it together, he could be a little something nice, but we'll see.
I think Matos is in the same. But I think Matos actually has a better eye than Luciano. According to his minor league record, Luciano has an eye. Luciano not so much. So I think Matos may have a little bit more success than Luciano. That's from what it's trending in the minor leagues. Granted, when you get to the big show, it's a whole different story. It could switch, but he could see the ball pretty good. He doesn't strike out a lot, if I'm not mistaken.
Shota, I love Bonds. He's one of the few exceptions to that rule. He just had a natural, God-given, beautiful swing and a beautiful eye. So, yeah.
And it doesn't help having a father named Bobby Bonds and a godfather named Willie Mays.
Yeah. He's the exception to the rule.
Listen to as we talk about Giants and their direction. I was trying to figure out how to put this up on the screen through my Facebook, but this was a tweet earlier on the Kruk and Kipe Facebook group. Our old the old Mr. Know-It-All, Max Rosito, who thinks he knows everything, says, couple of interesting notes here for those of you who continue to insist the Giants aren't signing players. They signed 5 free agents this offseason, with Soler, Lee, and Hicks being the top 3. The only team that signed more free agents than the Giants is the Dodgers. The Giants spent $208 million on free agents. Only one team spent more than they did. Guess who that would be? They may not be spending money like the Dodgers are, but then again, neither is anyone else. Can we please cease and desist with the arguments that the Giants are cheap? Evidence suggests otherwise. And so my response,
this guy's an idiot.
Oh, he drives me nuts. He drives a lot of people nuts in this.
Not trying to call names, but come on, man.
So here's, I'm trying to find the darn response.
Exactly.
See if I can find my response, because the way this whole Facebook works, it doesn't show.
And while you're looking for it, it's about using money to get your talent, not spend money to still be a 4th place team in the NL West.
Yeah, well, Max sees Farhan walks on water. He thinks he does nothing wrong. You'll get this by okay, here we go. I said they have a direction. No, that's his. I said, Max. He says, what do you want him to do? I said, spend like a top 5 team in revenue. They're 5th in revenue and 12th in spending. Their current payroll is less than last season. Because he's like, they're spending.
Yeah.
Yeah, they spent, but they cut a bunch too.
Right.
I wouldn't care if they spent less and said they were going to play their young guys. But stop trying to play in the middle lane. Either spend money on top players and try to compete for a World Series, or go with a rebuild. They try to placate the fans into thinking they're trying to compete, but will struggle to be a 500 team and will continue to struggle, and they choose a direction. And he comes back and he says to me, they have a direction. It's building through the farm, like they did when they won those championships. You appear to be one of those demanding fans Kipe was referring to. Everyone here is just too damn impatient. I said,
impatient? It's been 5 damn years.
Listen to my response. Max, if that's their direction, why did Farhan come out and say the outfield is set with Conforto, Lee, and Yaz? You got Ramos and Matos they're not counting on. Casey Schmidt's not being seen as a starter at third base. How is that building through the farm if you don't play these guys? Yaz, Conforto, and Davis are not part of the future. And 2 of those guys, if not all 3, will not be on the team next year. You act like you know everything, but you really don't know what you're talking about. And how is 5 full years of Farhan being impatient when they are projected to be below 500 again? How long does it take to turn an organization around? On the 6th year, they should be starting to have a consistent winning team and contend for, at minimum, a wild card berth. Brian Sabian built 2 separate winning eras, 97 through 04 and 09 through 16, and almost all of it through the draft and trades. 4 losing seasons after 8 straight winning seasons, followed by 8 more winning seasons and 3 World Series championships. I'm sorry, but after 5 years and year 6 not looking very bright, it's time for a change at the top. If he doesn't have a winning record, a winning season in 24, are you going to say that year 7 is the year? At what point do you say he's not the right guy for the job? I know several people in the game to know what I'm talking about. The Giants will never compete for a championship with Farhan in charge. Take that to the bank.
He's been invited many times to come in here, and he won't.
Max, we're letting you have it, but we'll let you come on and we'll put your face in the screen just like R3 Mugs, and we'll let you have it. We'll have a respectful dialogue and conversation. Anybody who knows this guy, Max, let him know that he's being called out and he's welcome to come on here and have a like I said, a civil dialogue. We can agree to disagree, but let's hear those thoughts because I don't see it, guys. I don't see this team competing. Now, you can say Ramos and Matos and Schmidt and Bailey and Luciano. You could say they're all going to be really good and hope to be good. And then you got Black and Harrison and Wisenhunt and Wynn and Beck and others to come. And other guys, Eldridge down the road. When was the last time all these guys hit? It's been years. The only time that there was about 4 or 5 guys that hit from the farm were in the late 08, 09 in that era. You had
the World Series teams.
First of all, you had Matt Cain. He was the first guy that made it. Then you had Lincecum, Panda, and Posey. That's 4. And then you had Crawford 5 and Belt 6. And then you had the pitching. You had the relievers. You had Romo, and then so Ryan you had a nucleus of 7 or 8 guys. Brian Wilson, Joe Panic was in there for a few years. So you had guys that actually did it, but that's it. That's it in the era of many years, and I don't think all of these guys are going to get the opportunity to hit. To be a hit. If you're going with Michael Conforto and Mike Yastrzemski, and to a certain extent, an unproven Jung-Hoo Lee, before you even give your guys that you've drafted and developed that have, already had major league experience over Lee, and you're just saying that, I question whether Jung-Hoo Lee is going to be better than a Matos or a Ramos.
We don't know.
We don't know. He very well may be. He's got.
Matos hit 250 for his first experience in MLB at 21 years old. That's okay. That's okay.
Jung-Hoo Lee is not getting a lot of respect in fantasy. I started. Really? My therapy coming off the 49er hangover was to start diving into fantasy baseball and studying. And Jung-Hoo Lee is considered pretty much the 255th to 270th best fantasy player. So he's.
Hey, I have my doubts when I watch him in the cage a little bit.
He's a contact hitter. He's a line drive hitter.
Contact hitter. I see. My fear is a lot of weak ground balls. That's what my fear is. And
he does have a high ground ball rate.
Yeah, he has a high ground ball rate. Exactly.
And that's something that they didn't like what Ramos was doing. He would keep continually hitting ground balls.
I want to see, you look at Ramos, the guy's a Mack truck. It looks like Matos and Luciano have become the same.
They're huge.
Who did the Giants open up with, Dan?
San Diego you mean the regular season?
Regular season opener.
In San Diego for
so that'll be Musgrave, right? as the
Yeah, probably Musgrave and who else is on that?
Darvish.
Okay, so he'll get a couple righties right out the gate. So
yeah.
He hit lefties pretty good from what I've seen. He keeps his shoulder in.
I just want to see if Matos and Ramos come out and tear up the spring, are they going to
not going to be given a chance
a shot? I mean, if that's what you're gonna, Yaz is already gonna miss the first 7 to 10 days. I mean, come on. It's at a certain point, you got to start looking and thinking Jason Verrett here. I mean, a guy that, whether it's his fault or not, he's, shoulder impingement. Last year it was a hammy for almost the entire season. Slater's been dealing with an elbow for years.
Yes. He had a procedure done on it, right?
Yeah, now he's had the procedure done. Maybe he's able to throw. I don't know if he's throwing at full go yet. I'm a little frustrated because I don't have the inside scoop that I had last year. The Giants are telling us that, that they're not giving us the credentials because we're not a major affiliate with a major network, and major
national, right?
Well, just a major news outlet. We're not the Mercury, we're not the Chronicle, we're not the Athletic, we're not 95.7 or KMBR. So they're saying they had to draw the line and that they're not doing YouTube guys. So we'll see how that actually goes.
Translation, you guys have been right about us all along and we don't like it.
Yeah, as Nick says, I don't suck up to them. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to suck up to them because I'm not going to go against my own character. If I got on here and just sucked up to the Giants so I can have a press credential, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to lie to you guys. More importantly, I'm not going to get up here and act phony, be a phony, and tell you everything's rosy when it's not. I'll tell you when things look good. I liked the Soler move. I was all for it. I had Hicks and Soler on my free agent target list that I put out earlier before any guys were signed. I like Hicks. I never thought of him as a starter. I don't like him as a starter.
Right.
I don't think that's going to work out well. I'll be happy to eat humble pie on that one. But my guess is he does not make 10 starts this year.
I don't think so either. I agree. I think it gets moved into bullpen pretty quick.
Yeah.
Could be wrong, but that's just from what history has shown. He doesn't do well as a starter.
Yeah.
And guys, tell me, did you want to vomit on the amount of attention that the media was giving Soler? They were reporting on his every damn. Soler has just arrived in the parking lot. Soler is walking into the building. Soler is at his locker. Yeah. It's like, come on, guys. It's like they never covered a big bopper before.
Shows you what happens when you get a 3+ star player in the clubhouse. You get a little bit of attention.
But it's just ridiculous. And the guy's got to get pitched around if they don't do anything else.
Right. Yeah, I think the latest. Hey guys, Jorge Soler was just spotted going into the restroom. There he is. Yeah, I mean, come on, jeez,
it's ridiculous. Are you serious?
Hey,
is this what we're talking about?
Did you see my my tweet to out to Bags when they put out the? Here, I'll show you.
Bring it up.
They put out a deal about Panda yesterday, being everybody had to comment on it. Here it is. I'll pull it up right here. It's like, come on, guys. This is ridiculous. All right, here it is. See that? Is it up there?
Yeah, you got it.
Here's what I was sending. Farhan Zaidi on why Pablo Sandoval is in camp. We had to sign Pablo because the workout videos he was sending me were taking up all the space on my phone. Susan Slusser reported the same thing and says, this is just comical. This is just comedy at its best or something. Maria Gerardo reported it. Alex Pavlovic reported it. All the same thing. So I was just like, come on, guys. Can we? So I said, all 4 Giants beat writers, Baggs, Slusser, Pavlovic, and Gerardo, reporting the same story. How about asking Farhan and reporting on what it's going to take to sign Bellinger, Snell, or Montgomery? Or do you think you're a playoff team without them? Ask and report tough questions, please. Come on. This is spring training. Guys are unsigned. Why are we, quoting a giggling Farhan about, I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, this is like, the way the question should be framed to Farhan is putting him on record. So he has a record. What will it take to sign one of these 3 players? Or do you feel you're a playoff team without them? Now he has to answer one or the other. Because he's got to say, well, we're still in possible trying to negotiate, we're still in talks with the agent. And, it's been tough going right now. Something like that. He can avoid, or he's got to say, well, we think we're not going to go after those guys. We think we're a playoff team without him. Now he's on record. And if he doesn't make the playoffs, you say, okay, we're going a different direction. If you are about winning, which I don't think the Giants ownership group is about winning. I really don't, guys.
The prices and the years are low now. Now's the window of opportunity to possibly do something. Maybe Bellinger will take a 3-year deal. You never know, instead of 7 or 8 years. Right. So it's here and you're not jumping at it, but that's what you do.
Maybe instead of going 7-175 or something, where it's $25 million a year, maybe he takes a 3-year, $90 million deal.
Right.
And he says, okay, I'll take a higher AAV for 3 years and I want an opt-out after the 2nd year. Maybe you do that so that he can re-hit the market, but
it's not him.
I don't think the Giants really are that serious about, they're not as serious about the Dodgers and the Yankees. Now the Dodgers and Yankees have great TV contracts, and baseball's got a huge problem on its hands because the Texas Rangers are strapped financially now because of their TV deal, which prevented them from going after Josh Hader, has prevented them from re-signing Jordan Montgomery. What you're going to have with baseball going forward is you're going to have definitely the haves and have-nots, which you've had for a while, but it's getting more so now where teams are not willing to put that.
It's not right. These big markets just have such an advantage, huge advantage.
Real quick, speaking.
I don't know how TV contracts work for local teams. If it's year to year, if it's 5-year deals, I'm not sure how that works. But you would think the Rangers have a little bit of leverage to charge a little bit more after winning a championship.
And to your point, hey, everyone, go see this guy right here. Financial help, Dan Cochemilio, 623-825-3900. That guy right there. He also hooked me up with some insurance too, right? And this guy over here, Flex Funding. You guys need some home loan help? 925-250-4894. He'll hook you up with some loans. And their interest rates are coming down a little bit, right?
Interest rates are coming down.
Okay, there you go.
They are coming down significantly, or about a half, quarter?
About 3/4.
Three
Wow.
quarters?
Rate locked one at it was an FHA at 5.625 today on a 30-year.
Okay. All right.
Hey, he was paying 7.5, so he's saving some money.
Ooh. Yeah.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice. I like that. Hopefully they'll keep coming down.
Keep going. Keep going.
Robert Rothberg, are the Giants serious? Okay, Robert, let me ask this. Answer it this way. Ask Melvin and the players, his team is determined to win. Of course they're determined to win.
Of course.
So are the other 30 teams or 29 teams in Major League Baseball, Robert. They all believe in camp to a man. If you ask them, they want to win. Do the Giants want to win? Of course. Do the players want to win? Of course. Does Melvin want to win? Of course. Does Farhan want to win? Of course he wants to win. But does he have the mindset to really put a winning team on the field? It hasn't shown itself but once in 5 years, and that once was more of an aberration than the norm, as we've seen, because they haven't been over 500 since that year. Okay. And I'll tell you this, Robert, my gripe is more with the ownership group. I do not believe this ownership group has the desire to win at all costs. They got happy, fat and happy with 3 World Series titles in 5 years. That's enough to buy you about 15 years of complacency, in my opinion.
Look at some of the owners that have come on board since 2022. They're all like Google. They're all like internet people. They don't care about winning. They care about just making a buck. Yeah,
these guys are in it for a profit, Robert.
Right.
And Robert, you say this team is vastly improved from last year.
Vastly improved, Robert. Vastly.
Let me pull up for you.
I think he has a question mark at the end. I think he's asking you.
Is there? Oh,
there's
let
a
me go
question
back.
mark.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's a question.
Oh, Dan, is this team?
No.
Okay, no, it's not vastly improved.
It's improved.
I'm not even sure if it's improved, and let me tell you why, Robert. They do not have much depth at all in the starting rotation. They have Logan Webb to start the season as a proven starter. The rest of the starters are all unproven. I like Kyle Harrison, but is he ready? We'll find out. That's one. That's your number 2 pitcher. Jordan Hicks, he's an unproven starter. That's your 3rd starter. Keaton Wynn, that's your 4th starter. And your 5th starter is Tristan Beck, most likely. None of these guys has ever pitched 100 innings in a season.
In one season, right.
In one season.
And you're going to need them to go at least
125.
At least?
You need them to bring you some innings. Okay? What happens, Robert, and injuries do happen when 1 or 2 of those pitchers is out for a few weeks with a hamstring, a strain, anything. Where's your depth? Sean Jelly? Okay. Who else? You're going to have to. Is it going to be Wisenhunt? Is it going to be Mason Black? Is it going to be Landon Roop? You've got unproven guys. I'm fine with them pitching those guys, by the way. This is what we've called for. I don't have a problem with them going with 4 young arms and Logan Webb, who's still young, as your anchor. Because, it's going to take a while for these guys to get going, and they need experience. So if they get lit up and they finish at 75 and 87 and they let these guys play, and if they're under, you know what? I'll say this. Where I want the Giants to be at the end of April and then at the end of May, I want them either at the end of April, I want them at 500. And at the end of May, I want them over 500, or I want them way below 500. I don't want
middling.
I don't want the middling by the end of May. I want to know where they are after 50, 60 games. If after 60 games they're still competing, that's a good sign that, maybe something can come of it. They can hang in there. But I don't want them sitting at 3, 4, 7 games under 500. I don't want them being okay after 60 games. I don't want them at after 60 games. What would that be? Let's say they're 27-33. Okay. I'd rather have them be 20-40. And I'll tell you why. Because at least those other young guys are going to get to play. The Confortos and the Yazes, they're going to move off of those guys. And they're going to move off of J.D. Davis. And they're going to play the young guys. You know, I don't want this 26-34, 27. We're still in it. We're still in it. We're still in it. And then all of a sudden you're 90 games in and you're 40-50. All right. If they're 40-50, they're done. Okay. And after 100 games, if they're 44-56, they're done. I'd rather see them after 100 games, 38-62. Something like that. Because then we get all the young guys. We get a house cleaning.
God, Montgomery is out there. Why would you not sign him to bolster the rotation?
And you know, Los, you ain't wrong. How much better would the rotation look like if you had Webb, then Montgomery, then Harrison, then Wynn and Beck? Put Hicks in the bullpen where he succeeds, man.
With those two signings, if they went and signed Montgomery and Snell, I will tell you right now, if they did that, I would say they're going to be a wild card team. Because pitching,
yeah, it's hard to argue that one.
Because really, you would move Hicks to the bullpen. Now you have a lights out bullpen.
Lights out bullpen.
From the 6th inning on, what are you going to do with Rogers, Hicks, and Duvall?
That would be that's 3 innings right there that get locked down. So you only have 4. Your starter only has to, or you go even 4. That means your starter only technically
5.
has to go 6.
5. I named you 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. You got 2 Rogers. You got Hicks.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
And Duvall. And you also got Walker in there.
Which he's pretty good.
Yeah. So if you went and really wanted to win and you added Snell and Montgomery, now your rotation is you've got plus Harrison, you got 3 lefties to throw against who's got a lot of left-handed bats that you're in your division.
LA.
Yeah. You got Freeman, Ohtani, Muncy. There's one other one.
You got to worry about Arizona. They got a lot of right-handed bats.
Outman.
Because you just can't focus on one team. Because I mean, you got
but you got righties too. I mean, you would have Webb and
Winnebeck.
Winnebago.
If the Rangers are strapped for cash because of their TV deal, I swear the Giants would be on the phone asking about Garcia because Langford and Carter are coming fast.
Whatever came of that arbitration? They were supposed to have gone to arbitration.
I think he won, Garcia.
He did won arbitration. Okay. So he's 1 year, but after this 1 year, I don't think they're going to be able to afford him.
Yeah, I mean.
Because Carter and Langford are coming for the outfield. They can.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The Giants won in 2010. Kyle said they need to play like the 2010 years. They won with Lincecum, Kane, Mad Bum, and then they had Vogelsong. They had starting pitching, and they had the core 4 in the bullpen. The core 4.
And then they had good career years by veterans like Burrell and
you had
Uribe.
I mean, you had not just 2010, but 12, 14. You had, he's talking about the 10s. You got Pence and you got Pablo. You had players.
They sprinkled in good vets to supplement what they had brought up. It was fantastic.
Jonathan Sanchez, right?
Sanchez, man.
So you had excellent pitching. You had excellent defense. You know, Crawford came up in 2012. You had Renteria in 10. Andres Torres, MF says, you had those guys. So this is the thing. The Giants have some pieces. I'll tell you the pieces I like on this team. Lee's unproven. I don't know what he's going to do. I like his potential.
Los likes him.
I like his potential. We'll see. I hope he gets up there and slaps the hell out of the ball all over the park.
I like his confidence, honestly.
Yeah, I do too.
He's just a confident kid, and I think he's going to translate okay. I don't know if he's going to be a superstar, but I think he's going to hit over 270, 280, and he's going to steal a few more bases than people think. And I
like Estrada. Of course, I don't know if he'll have a great year, but I love Luciano. I love his potential. Yeah. I don't know what he's going to do. I mean, he's 21 or 22, so you can't expect a lot. I like Bailey. I like Soler. And that's about it.
We like Casey.
And I like Casey. And on the pitching staff, I like Webb. I like Harrison's potential. And I like a couple pieces in the bullpen. And that's about it. I think Beck and Wynn has some potential with his splitter to if he can control that and throw it for strikes or make it look like a strike. That's, I mean, the problem with Gosman in the second half of 21, he couldn't get his splitter even close to being a strike.
Right.
And so teams just laid off it and waited for him to come into the zone and nailed him.
Right.
That splitter doesn't have to be a strike, but it sure has to look like one.
It has to look like one. Yep, exactly.
Dan, what did Beck and Wynn do last year to deserve,
let's take a look.
What did they do?
Take a look. Well, I'm going to go grab some water. I'm getting.
I don't see it. I don't see what they did to earn going into camp being the number 4 and number 5 starters.
I'm just going to go ahead and compare them. We could just.
Type of thing?
It's going to be more of a.
It's going to be an open audition.
It's not really a competition. It's just easy to see both.
And when they see that Hicks can only go through a lineup one time, and when he gets to the 4th and 5th inning, he's going to start to get hit. That experiment may not work. You're going to have 2 starters in Harrison and Webb. That's an awful lot of pressure. You have to get an established starter in here.
I'm only going to put age 23 season. Yeah, here we go. Or whatever. The year of 2023. Just to see what they did last year. To earn, you're talking about to earn it for this year, right?
I think Hicks could be a spot starter here and there in an emergency. But he's a guy that can come in and go 2 or 3 innings and bridge the gap from the starter to Doval. I think that's where he should be used.
Here we go. Tristan Beck, Keaton Wynn. Each of them pitched. One was 85 innings. The other was 42. Win-loss, not so much. ERA.
Respectable.
ERA. 4.68 for Wynn. ERA plus, that's taken in consideration the ballpark. So 108, you're above average. 100's being average. Strikeouts, he's got more strikeouts. Then again, he does have more innings pitched too by almost double. And then K rate, about the same. And then their walk rate. Wynn was a little bit better. Wynn had issues putting guys on base a little bit more. So there you go.
Somebody in the chat mentioned that he had a real nasty slider. I'm not remembering it.
Who's that? Beck?
Beck.
Yeah, I think Beck has the nasty slider, and then Wynn's got the
split
or split. Yeah, but he's got to command it.
You got to have more than one good pitch to be a competent starter.
You have to have 3.
MLB. So
right, minimum 3. Minimum
3. Minimum 3.
Oh, what pitches?
Yeah, as a starter, yeah.
Yeah, somebody in the chat was saying that Beck has a really nasty slider, and I said, great, but if he can't locate his fastball, then
that's a great segue because I was listening to MLB radio today. I was going to just mention this. Do you know how many pitches Spencer Strider has?
About 8.
2.
What? It's only slider.
Slider and a 4-seamer.
That's right.
Wow.
And he does throw an occasional changeup, but last year his strikeout was 55% on the slider. The slider, when he threw it with 2 strikes, 55% of the time it was a strikeout pitch. 44% was the changeup. When he threw it, he rarely threw it, and then the 4-seamer, I think it was like 15 or 19%. So
he doesn't have
guys can
Wow.
hit. They say he might be trying to work on a curveball, but he struck out 200 and if you pull his stats up, I think it was like 281, if I recall it, in like 187 innings or something like that. 281, 287. It was just under 300 Ks last year.
You know what he's ranked? You know what he's ranked on fantasy starters?
1 or 2.
Number 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Not Acuna? Usually it's Acuna's number 1.
No,
even
pitching.
He was
one is the pitchers for pitchers, right? You were saying, Lowe's?
He's the top rated starter in fantasy baseball.
Who's second?
Okay,
Cole?
Cole. I think personally Cole should go. I would pick Cole if it came to me first. Strider has a little bit higher of an ERA than you would think. He was at like 3.7, 3.8 last year, which for a guy that's that nasty, almost 4. He had a few duds in there, like really got rocked. To me, Garrett Cole's is the number 1 guy. Like you know what you're getting from him almost every time.
Ooh. Oh my gosh! Take a guess who number 2 is last year for strikeouts
in all of MLB?
in baseball. Take a guess. Chat, don't shoot.
Strider was 1, right? Eric?
Strider was number 1. Guess who was number 2?
Burns?
Damn it, Chad. I told you not to look it up. Kevin Gausman. 237 strikeouts.
Gausman is
what a dumbass Farhan was not signing that guy. Wanted to come back. You don't even offer him a freaking
Hey, look
contract.
at that. Was that an unbelievable trade? Minnesota and Miami. Look at that. They got Pablo Lopez, who's probably going to have a bigger year this year.
Yep.
And Miami picked up Arias. A lot of people think the Twins got the better of that deal.
Look at
Can you slide that over by any chance, Eric?
Yeah, what you need.
What a joke, guys. Look at complete games. Boy, has the game changed. Mm-hmm. Starters back in the day used to that's my mound. That's my game. I am not coming out.
Yep.
Jeez.
Man, that is depressing. The reliance on the bullpen.
Very.
Wow. This is incredible. Look at the ERA Snell has, and he's still trying hard to find a team. He had almost a sub-2
I'll tell you why he's having a hard time finding a team. Because the demand is too high for a guy. Pull up Blake Snell's baseball card, back of his card. Pull up his baseball reference.
Right here.
And I'll tell you why I would not pay the guy what he's asking. I mean, as a fan, I would. But if it's my team, I'm going to be a little hard-nosed to offer a guy close to $30 million a year for 6 years when he's been inconsistent. His walk rate is high. He doesn't throw a ton of innings every year. It's just I just don't think it's
his ERA has always been kind of high. This is the lowest it's been his entire career, except for 2018. 2018, goodness gracious, man.
Mark Graves, there were guys throwing complete games as recently as 8-10 years ago consistently. So I don't think complete games go all the way back to the 70s. It's just a different mindset with
all right, Eric, you're too slow on the screen there. Here we
go.
Oh,
my bad. It opened up a new window. I hit it and it actually opened up. My bad. I've been looking at it.
All right. Okay. Here we go. Blake Snell.
2018 was a great year, but
with Tampa Bay.
Look what he did.
21-5, 1.89. Follows it up with a 4.29 ERA in 19, only started 23 games, 107 innings, skipped 2020. I hate that year for baseball stats.
21, he was injured.
21, yeah. Okay, 22, 8 and 10, good ERA, only 128 innings pitched in 24 games started. 128. Let's see how many innings that is. That's an average of 5.3 inning, a 5 1/3. So the guy doesn't throw that many innings. The most he's ever thrown is 180, and that's been in 18, the great year, and last year. His two best years, he threw 180 innings. Logan Webb's thrown over 200.
He kills your bullpen. He kills your bullpen. He has not
and you're going to give this guy close to 30 million a year? No, I think the problem is Boris thinks because he's won 2 Cy Youngs,
correct,
he thinks he deserves more than Yamamoto on an AAV. He thinks he's up there,
right?
With, he's probably pushing harder than what Rodon got. And guys are just saying, thanks, but no thanks. We're not going to bite off on that. And here's the other deal. Guys are I can only think of one superstar, major duper, like what do you want to call it? When I say major contract, that's 10 years or say 8 years. Say 8 years. Maybe even forget it. Say 7. 7's a long time. No, make it 6. No, 7. I'm kidding. 7 years. Give me a contract in baseball that has been 7 years or longer. Maybe it's not complete. It's still going on. That was a positive deal for the club. Go ahead. I've got one in my mind right now. That's
Bond's first contract was 6 years, wasn't it?
Yeah, Bonds was a great contract. But let's talk more recent history. Let's say from 2010 on, the last 13, 14 years. Because I think players are made up differently today than they were. I think they're
I'm gonna go with Ronald Acuna as a great contract.
Yes, but that's a great contract for the club. It's panned out. But I guess what I meant is
after their first rookie contract expires.
I'm talking about a deal that was one of those top tier. I mean, the Braves stole Acuna. They're not even paying him hardly. What are they paying him? Like 15, 18 million a year?
10.
10? Yeah, 10. There you go.
And the Brewers did the same thing with Chorizo. He's not even played, and I talked about this a lot last year. That is so smart. They gave him 8 years and 82 million. So he's going to make 10 million a year. They're just invested in him.
Okay, I'm seeing Trout in here, Bonds. How about Bryce Harper? That's been a great contract for the Phillies so far. So far, Bryce Harper is performing, comes back off of a, Tommy John, and he just hitting like a monster. Okay, so Bryce Harper was the guy I had. Oh, beat you, Dan, Brian. No, you didn't beat me because it was in my head from the beginning, Brian. That was the one guy that was the guy I had in my mind.
Machado's played well since he signed his deal.
Not so bad.
He had an off year last year.
He's been okay.
He's been okay.
He's a Gold Glover.
How about Anthony Rendon?
Oh, Lord.
Worst contract maybe in baseball history. How about Patrick Corbin?
Oh, that's garbage.
How about
Strasburg,
Nationals, man. All these.
I feel bad for the guy. But you know what? His was more injury than anything else.
Yeah, Jeff Samardzija, Mark Graves brought up.
Samardzija.
Johnny Cueto.
Carlos Rodon's off to a bad start. How about the guy that hit all the home runs for the Orioles? Last name was Davis.
Oh, Chris Davis.
Guy couldn't even hit 200.
Nope.
Struck out like it was just bad. DeGrom not looking good. there's a lot of guys that are collecting these big contracts. The teams, I think, are starting to say, "Hey, Boris, you got this guy a contract, and we got burned. We got burned on this guy. We got burned on this guy." And I'm telling you, Boris is going to destroy the game.
They're wising up.
Hey guys, let's play this game. You know I like to play this game, Dan. Which pitcher would you like to have in your starting rotation?
The one on the left or the one on the right?
Left or right? Pretty equal in WAR, pretty equal in games. 11 more on the left. Innings pitched, more durable on the left. Win-loss really doesn't mean nothing, but pretty similar. ERA, fairly similar. ERA plus.
The last few years?
This is the last 3 years, 2021 to 2023. Strikeouts, advantage to the guy on the right. K percentage, advantage to the guy on the right. Walks, though, the guy's got more control of the strike zone on your left. And then, of course, the base on balls percentage, way lower by half.
I think I prefer the guy on the left.
More innings pitched, yeah, for sure. Like 90 innings almost.
I like starters that can go deeper
the
into
distance
games than the rest of the bullpen.
Let me see. Let me guess who these pitchers are.
Okay, guess. Grant says Webb versus Snell. And Grant is.
I bet that could be Webb on the left.
I'm not going to say who it's. There could be a right answer in there, but I ain't going to say.
I think that's Webb on the left. And
Ready?
On the right, I think it's is it Gosman? No, it's Rodon didn't pitch. Rodon could be Rodon on the right. I don't know. Let's see.
Keefanov wins.
Oh, look at that.
So go get the guy, right? He's probably going to be cheaper than Snell.
I've heard the odds are even money. He's going to sign with the Red Sox, which is what I predicted.
Oh, you said that
months ago. Even money.
But why not the Giants?
Giants are 5-1 right now on them.
If the whatever, I can't even get into this.
Let me see those stats. Put those up again. Put those up again. I want to see if Montgomery 94.
I didn't do the awards because that kind of gives it away.
So he's averaging 31 starts a year. That's full season. Yep. I'm not worried about record. ERA's pretty reasonable. No,
yeah, they're taking into consideration the ballparks.
He's giving you more innings. The WAR's about the same.
He's still a strikeout pitcher, not like Snell, but he's still a strike thrower.
I think he'll hold up better, more consistent, more durability.
More durability.
Ridiculous for Snell. He just puts a lot of people on base.
Yeah.
You keep your defense out there longer. You know, just
correct.
There's a lot of factors into what he does. I mean, winning Cy Youngs is nice and all, but I mean,
that's an individual. Yeah.
Exactly. Does he help your team, or does he help himself?
Great point, Los. Great point.
I want somebody that's going to help my team, and Montgomery's in a better position to do that.
I smell what you're stepping in. I like that.
Less people on base. That's how you do it. I don't need an analytic or computer to tell me that. My brain and knowing the game of baseball tells me that, and that's what the Giants front office should be doing, looking at that. They should have Montgomery.
What do we got? UConn got destroyed today. What are we talking about?
Oh, they're the number
college
one.
basketball.
Number one team got smoked.
What, women or men's? I didn't see the men even playing today.
I think it was the men.
Oh wait, SEC. Hold on. Let me look. Top 25. Yeah, they did. They got beat by Creighton.
That is a good point there, Hope. He says he gets them out. However, that's why his ERA is low. I can concede that he doesn't allow runs to score. Last year, at least, for sure.
St. Mary's needs to win tonight. They're playing USF.
I got money on St. Mary's.
51-50 51-50 with 7.5 minutes to go. USF's
right game. Go Gales.
Senior wants to know: would you do Snell for 4 years, 120?
No,
not 30 million a year.
I'll do Montgomery 3 and 70.
I would have a couple weeks ago, but now I'm getting kind of like, I don't think I think you're. I heard the Yankees offer was 150. Is that right?
I heard they got a new offer in. Don't know what it is.
Another one?
Yep. That's what I've heard.
Snell's too up and down for me. Do you notice right after his 1.89 ERA, he jumped up to like 4? 4.
Yeah, he had
or something.
4.
He didn't jump up a little. He jumped up a lot. So he's too up and down for me to give him that kind of years and
I think
I'll take Montgomery all day.
I said a couple weeks ago that they should sign Snell for 6 and 168, but I'm kind of rethinking it now as these guys, are sitting. Maybe I go 4 years if I get a club option after the 3rd year.
Would it? I don't know. Wouldn't Boris come back and say, "Oh, if you're not going to give me the years, then give me the AAV"?
Yeah, of course he will. Yeah.
Okay.
What did Rodriguez get from Arizona? Didn't he get 4 and 80? Just 20 million?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Could go high as 4 and 90.
He would have been beautiful in this ballpark.
Yeah.
He's a ground ball pitcher. Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
interesting.
That was so doable.
There's a lot of things that are out there. I mean, there's guys that are still sitting out there. Somebody signed today, Ahmad Rosario with Tampa.
Oh, did he?
That gets news because nobody else is signing.
Right.
I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, that's what I wanted to pull out. Let me see if I can bring that up here.
You mean pull up?
Pull up. Hey, come on. Get your head out of the gutter.
Hey, I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
Say hello to my little.
That was great, wasn't it? That show was great.
All right,
talking about your wardrobe malfunction at Halloween.
Here we go.
Good memory.
Here we go. Okay.
Mind of an elephant sometimes.
Yeah.
All right. This article I was reading earlier, Justin Turner is worried about the state of MLB free agency. This year's free agent market for the MLB has been extremely slow. There's a plethora of high-quality talent, blah, blah, blah. Turner's told Shai Davidi of Sportsnet that it isn't a good look that there's so much talent on the market, especially since it's now mid-February. It's just frustrating, Turner said Monday, according to Shai Davidi of Sportsnet. It's frustrating, obviously, for the guys in free agency class. It's frustrating for a lot of teams around the league trying to figure out where some of these guys are going to go. It's kind of a little bit of a black eye on baseball. He signed a $13 million deal. With camp underway, many players like Snell, Bellinger, and Chapman have yet to sign. You have all these guys that are all-stars, Cy Young, batting title, rookie of the year, could say MVP too, Bellinger, on the free agent market, and they're having a hard time finding a job. I don't think it's a good look. He later goes on to say, this is pretty funny. It also makes the offseason incredibly boring. Outside of Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto, there's barely been any movement. When MLB is posting the news of jerks and Profar signing a deal, it's slow. Of course, the slimeball agent, Scott Boras, doesn't agree and wants to overpay, even if it means waiting until spring training. It's frustrating for not only the fans, but clearly the players such as Turner. This isn't – okay, it's not the first time. It happened in 1819. Let's see. Somebody said something about getting hurt. Where was it? I thought it was Justin Turner said guys are going to get injured. Where did I read that?
Well, the potential to rush them up to speed. It's happened quite a few times.
I thought I read that somewhere, but maybe it's the next article I'll pull up. Let me pull this next one up that is about Scott Boros. We'll pull that one.
And guys, we've talked about this before last year. This is where baseball fails to completely understand like how to gain the market and gain, popularity. I mean, football just ended and they're already starting to talk about football free agents.
Yes.
Where are they going? Where's this guy going? Where's this guy? So there's a buzz already. And the season just ended. And here's baseball sitting just like plodding along, the turtle just slowly, one guy a week signs. And it's just, they're just.
Oh, it's a joke, Los. I got a call from our buddy. Hold on, let me drink my water. Okay.
What's up,
I got
Jim?
a call. I got a call from
Tomorrow
our buddy Sean Proctor just before we came on the air.
All
We were
right.
talking a little Niners. He's all pumped up for the possibility that the Niners might sign Belichick as defensive coordinator. He's, that we're a week out of football from a devastating loss, and now we're already into, what's going to happen with Ayuk, who's going to, salary cap discussions are starting, and it will not stop until camp opens.
Yeah.
Because football will own the calendar, because what's going to happen is they're going to have all these guys that are going to get released from teams for salary cap purposes. Then they're going to be talking about where they're going. Then you're going to have free agency open in March, and all these guys will sign within minutes of free agency opening, and it'll be go on for a week or so or two, a bunch of guys signing, and then you'll be talking about the draft, the combine as well, and then the draft, and then after the draft, it's going to be mini camps and just all kinds of stuff. Baseball has got a lot of problems.
I'll tell you, and there's a lot of negative talk about basketball right now with that All-Star game that just happened.
Oh, that was the worst game I've ever. I don't even, Los.
200 and something to 180 something.
The point I'm making is it's not a basketball topic. It's just basketball is kind of down right now, and you got the two mega stars, LeBron and Steph, probably are not going to play for very much longer. And what's the league going to be turned over? So my point is kind of baseball. You have an opportunity to get up to number 2. You're not going to catch football. You have an opportunity to get up to number 2, but you keep doing stupid things. And the free agent signing is one of them. It's absolutely horrible the way they have it planned out.
I think the NBA is in trouble, and I'll tell you why I think they're in trouble in a few years. If LeBron retires and then Steph retires, I think Steph's still playing for another 5 years.
Yeah.
But I think Steph will become the face of the league at some point again over LeBron when LeBron hangs it up. But I don't think there's anybody the quality of play and character of Steph and LeBron to carry the mantle for the NBA. And I just think the game's getting, I mean, that was a joke. 211 points in an All-Star game.
Yeah.
I was watching some highlights of an All-Star game in, I want to say 04, 05, something like that. Kobe and Stephon Marbury were going back and forth, and it was a 1-point game, and they were playing like it was the 7th game of the NBA Finals. Man, they were calling timeouts. It was pretty good, and it was just like a 107, 106 game. Now today, I mean that's you know what, Los? I know I'm 62. If I would have went out in that game, I would have scored an easy 10 points if you gave me 15 minutes of playing time.
I would have put $150 on Coach Emilio over 10.5 points on the play.
I mean, I would have had layups given to me. Just run the floor, forget the defense, just run, get the long pass, lay it in. I mean, I probably could have.
And baseball has some young superstars that it could market better. I think more than basketball does. So again, this is more of a.
Who would be a great commissioner right now in baseball if you could pick a commissioner?
That's a good question.
Bob Costas?
Ned Coletti. He knows the game. He knows the agents. He knows the teams. He knows how the system works. Oh,
It's
God.
normally an executive, right? Not a former player. That's not. I don't think a former player has ever been a commissioner, right?
It's usually somebody that has some kind of law background too.
Correct.
At times. Judge Landis.
Oh man, Kennesaw Mountain. Kennesaw.
Yeah.
Guy was a dumbass.
Ron says he makes Bud Selig look like a Rhodes Scholar. Yeah. Manford, he's talking about, I think. Manford's horrible for the game.
Pete Rose.
Doesn't know how to market this game at all.
Oh man.
Man, these guys should be, how many commercials do we see, with football with Mahomes and Kelsey?
Yeah.
State Farm. Where are the baseball players in commercials?
Just not marketed at all.
Pete Alonso, he's a guy I can get behind. I like that guy. He's donating. I can't remember how much it is per home run he hits this year to animal shelters, to no kill.
100. He's going to donate 100. Was it 100 or 1,000 for every home run? I think it's 1,000 for every home run.
Something like that. Yeah.
Check this out.
Lenny Dykstra. I love it. I love Lenny. How about Lenny and Audrey Huff? Those two guys running baseball. That would be something.
How about Theo Epstein?
Yeah, he could.
Yeah.
He's got a good mind.
Would you pay that much for a Wrigleyville jersey?
No.
Unbelievable.
No. I wouldn't pay $100 for it. And
maybe I would.
Maybe I'd sell it. I don't wear jerseys often.
No. Damn. That's steep.
What's the over under on your age to wear a jersey? Is it 45, 50? You're not supposed to wear a jersey after 50.
Yeah,
something like that.
Like
I wore the Panic jersey though.
I like the old school jerseys. You know what jersey I wish I bought? I didn't was Bo Jackson's baby blue Kansas City Royal jersey.
Oh, the baby blue, yeah.
Oh, that was sweet. That was a sweet jersey. Woo.
Oh, let me pull that art. Let me see. Did I have that article up there?
Here, I'll put it back up. There you go.
I don't even think it's. Let me see. I don't even think it's not even pulling up for some reason. Oh, there it is.
You can open up a new window.
Yeah, let me open up the window, and we'll get. We're gonna wind down here.
Hey, if you guys could own any Yankee player as a jersey, which Yankee would you pick?
Oh,
of any era?
Yeah,
any era.
Any Yankee. You can pick one jersey from any Yankee. Era.
Since I'm Italian, I'm going DiMaggio.
Oh yeah, I got number 5. I was thinking the same. Yeah, we were all thinking the same. DiMaggio. Look at that.
I love that. That's awesome. I think I'm going Mantle. I've always been a Mickey Mantle.
I thought you might go Mantle.
DiMaggio. Jolton Joe, man.
Yeah, hey, that's Simon and Garfunkel all the way, right?
Yeah.
Jolton Joe is left and gone away. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey,
DiMaggio,
hey.
that's a good one. Or DiMaggio. I wonder if they have a San Francisco Seals DiMaggio jersey. Woo.
Hey, I like that. Yogi Berra. That's good, bub. I like that. Nothing wrong with that.
Yogi Berra, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let me find my. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. That's my Zach.
Oh, Johnny, I've seen that movie many times. That's a very underrated movie, man. Good call. Love that movie.
Which one? 8 Men Out?
61.
Oh, 61.
It's directed
That's the
by
one. What's his name?
It's about Mantle and Maris
Billy Crystal
chasing Ruth's record, and Billy Crystal did direct it. Excellent baseball movie.
Okay, here's Boris talking about the 4 players. These are extremely talented players. Is this showing, guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. These are extremely talented players that impact winning outcomes. Boris told Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic, if owners value winning as their primary goal for their clients and fans, they will continue to make every effort to acquire elite talents. The free agent market has been especially slow. There are teams that could use each of the 4 players in question, but there are concerns when it comes to committing to long-term deals with them as well. Blake Snell coming off a Cy Young with the Padres. Despite the season with the Padres, Snell's inconsistency when it comes to the amount of innings he provides year to year, along with the walks he usually gives out, provides some pause. Like Snell, Bellinger is hitting free agent market off of a great season. The successful 23 with the Cubs comes after multiple down years with the Dodgers that were plagued by injury. There are fears regarding the sustainability of Bellinger's 23. If you notice as I read, I cut some of the stuff out just because I just cut it, make it shorter. Montgomery has been a reliable pitcher over the years, and his successful run with the Rangers is him on the market at a high point as well. Still, teams have not chosen to invest as much as he is looking for yet. Chapman has a reputation as a great defensive third baseman and has potential with the bat, but there are some questions due to him tailing off offensively after a hot start in 23. It remains to be seen where these 4 will land. Okay. Well, that doesn't say anything. That doesn't say anything about what Boris said other than they should sign these guys. Well,
I mean, what it says to me is that each one of them has a question.
Right.
And this is kind of a point I've always made when you sign guys to big contracts. When I give you 6, 7, 8 years and big money, I shouldn't have any questions about you.
No questions about Bonds, right?
No questions.
No questions.
5-tool player.
Not really any questions about Bryce Harper, really, at the time.
Right.
He was
right. If I'm going to give you that money, all 4 of those guys you just said, Dan, each one of them had a question mark on them.
Yeah. I mean, Tatis, when he got the money, I thought it looked like he was worth it, but, he's had some kind of stuff afterwards. A lot of these guys, it's the character of the player. Do they want to be great? Do they want to? Are they going to coast?
Are they a team player? Like
Yeah.
Lowe, I like what Lowe says. Team player, or is he playing for the back?
Or is he just playing for his stats and
right?
Another contract? Yeah, absolutely.
Here you go.
Oh, here's another contract that didn't pan out real great. Yeah, I saw that hat. I don't like it at all.
Ugly.
Don't care for it? You don't like
Not
the
at
old school Giants logo?
Not
like
at all.
I never liked that logo.
I don't like that logo. It looks kind of like a circus to me.
Wasn't that from the 80s, right?
85.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that hat.
That's the first year of Giants Vision, cable TV.
Giants Vision. I remember Giants. Oh my God, that was
games at home.
I don't like that at all. I like I love just the nice SF, the orange SF. Another bad contract I just thought of that really didn't pan out too well for the Angels. Albert Pujols.
Yeah, that one didn't age well at all.
I mean,
I talked a lot about that one.
Plantar fasciitis, that really screwed him up.
I mean, these contracts, I had an idea as I was thinking about it. What could you do to fix it? Now, this will never happen because it makes sense, so it'll never happen. I mean, and the players' union would never go for it.
Yep.
But what happens if you got paid? I'll tell you what. Back in the old days, when Willie Mays was playing, they played on 1-year deals. They did not have long-term deals. Those guys signed a contract. Willie Mays was the first player in baseball history to make $100,000.
Yeah,
$100,000.
And they signed a contract at the beginning of every season.
That's what I just said. Yeah. Every year they did not have long-term deals. So how about if you got this? How do you think production would work if you got paid so much money based on innings pitched, strikeouts, deductions for walks? Intentional walks don't count because that's but how about if you had ERA? How about home runs? Slugging percentage, OPS plus, OPS plus is 100 to your average, right? So everything above 100 plus, you get bonuses. And you have a minimum salary. Everybody starts with a minimum salary, right? And then you go up. And let's say, you know, I mean, like I say, this will never happen. So it's
Never.
not, never happen. But
it's a great idea.
it would be, you
how
would
about
actually, you'd
How
actually
about
get
this?
production.
How about this, Dan? You win 70 games, this is what your bonus is. You win 80 games, this is what your bonus is. You win 90 games, this is what your bonus is. So you promote winning as well as your own personal stats.
True. Yeah, there's a lot that could be done. But, agents and unions have, and, unfair, greedy owners. The reason you have an upset union is because you have owners who, pretty much colluded and iced the players out years ago, all colluded and said, we're not going to sign anybody. I almost wonder if there's a little bit of collusion going on right now. Sure looks like it.
It's hard to say when you got clubs out there signing contracts for $700 million.
Well, that is a case of a team that is wealthy and has one of the best TV contract. Well, it does. I mean, that the Yankees,
best. Yeah.
It's like nobody can compete with that.
Doesn't Boston have a good TV deal?
I would imagine. I don't know what their TV deal is, but
is the Dodgers TV deal better than the Yes Network of the Yankees?
I don't think so. It's close.
Got to be close.
Boy, the Yes Network is a freaking Fort Knox. My God.
Yeah.
That's why I'm surprised they're not really signing a whole bunch of people.
They may sign Snell. I did see that Aaron Judge said yesterday, we're not even close to being done with free agency.
Ooh, shots fired.
Shots fired. So watch, the Yankees could go out and sign Snell and Montgomery.
Oof. And
then they're like, okay, Baltimore. Okay, Houston. Okay, Tampa, beat this.
Timmy Lincecum bet on himself and lost. The Giants offered him $5 and $100 million towards the later part of his career, and he wanted those 1 and 2 year deals. And then once he started having problems with his hip and his velocity went down, and then he went to the Angels and he had like a 7 ERA.
Yeah,
he could have taken the money and been fine. And
dang,
Timmy was so good for 3 or 4 years. God, loved boy.
Dominant, wasn't he?
Oh, I've seen him so many times. I wouldn't make sure I went to go see him in person. I loved watching him pitch.
Unbelievable, man.
Yeah, Kyle, the Dodgers have a weird deal because if you don't have the cable package that not everybody in LA market offers, I can't remember who their deals with, but a large majority of the LA fan base cannot even watch the Dodgers.
You know who would know that is Ned. Ned would know a lot about that.
Yeah, I lived down there for a while in 16. I was working. Is it Spectrum, MF? You would know.
What everyone's saying
he's
Spectrum.
Down there. Didn't it used to be somebody else before Spectrum? Wasn't it Time Warner? And then I thought it was Time Warner or something like that. But anyway, maybe it's now Spectrum. Maybe it was.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Good knowledge there. Matthew says Boston is over leveraged. The owner bought too many sports teams, and now it's spread so thin, he thinks the money is
right. He bought some teams in the Manchester United, or he bought some soccer team, and I heard that's where his it's kind of like the Giants. Okay, you have millionaires, right, that have these clubs. And the Giants ownership, their toy was the Giants. They got the park built. It was thriving. It was jamming. It was 40,000 a night, every night. And you had exciting teams from 2000 as soon as it opened up for the first 3-4 years. And then they had 4 or 5 down years. And then bam, from 2010 to let's call it into 2016, it was the place to be in the Bay Area. And they got 3 world titles out of it. And the owners were just loving it. They were the talk of town. and everything was just going beautiful. They did it before the Warriors made their big run. They did it while the Niners were down. I mean, the Niners had the 12 year where they made the Super Bowl, but they didn't win it. So the Giants were the town. And now all of a sudden the Warriors come in and they take over. And then the Niners from 19 on have been, right at the pinnacle of the top. And what do the Giants ownership, what's their toy right now? What's their thing that they can play with and put their hearts into? What is it? Come on, sidekick.
Go for it, Los.
It's got a big boulder in its name. What's a boulder?
Mission Rock.
Oh,
There you go.
Rock.
There you go. Rock. Mission
Put
Rock.
him in the rock.
Okay. The Giants' Mission Rock is their baby right now. They don't care about the ball club. I'm telling you, I know what I'm talking about. They don't care about the ball club.
Exactly.
It is showing very clearly. Why do you think Farhan is there?
Because he's a money guy.
And he can just
budget. He knows.
He's a punching bag for them.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't they save $45 million and not even sign Soler then? I mean, I agree with you 98% of the time, but why even throw out $45 million to Soler?
Well, you're only talking $13 million a year, or $14 million a year, 14, and he's tradable.
Yeah.
He's a piece. He's an asset now. Who do you think people are going to want this year at the trade deadline if the Giants aren't even close to it? Now you pick up, you paid the guy $7 million for half a season and you pick up a top guy.
I bet Lee's going to be the number one sale jersey this year over Webb and over Doval. Watch.
Oh, I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Strong Asian community. They're gonna. If he does anything positive to start the year, his jersey's going to be picked up big time.
Yeah, and Soler, if things go right, if everything goes, as Grant Brisbee said, if you had a perfect parlay, a big parlay, and it all went well, the Giants could surprise people. Let's say Jordan Hicks's stuff is magic, and he gives you 5 2/3, 6 innings. He starts pitching really well. He pulls off this. What's the guy I'm thinking of? Los. I can't think of his name. He traded for Seattle. Billy 93 season. Billy.
For the Mariners?
No, he pitched for the Giants, but he came from the Mariners.
Bill Swift.
Billy Swift. Let's say Hicks all of a sudden becomes Bill Swift, and he's pitching great. And then Webb does his usual great stuff, and Harrison all of a sudden is Rookie of the Year, right? And now Wynn does pretty well, and Beck keeps you in games, and you got 4 decent, 3 really good starters, and the back 2 are keeping you in games 4 and 5. And then all of a sudden Cobb comes back. He's healthy. He's pitching great. They don't have much injuries. Guys get productive years. Giants could win 87 games and make, everything goes right. That can happen. It happens in baseball. Okay. Let's say that comes to pass. But that's why you try and sign a Soler. Plus you're way below the cap, Los. The cap's 237. The Giants are sitting like at 196 right now, with all of their 40-man roster, their whole 40-man. So, I think it's, but I do think the Giants ownership has Farhan there because, why would you add to him for another commit to him when everybody's been calling for him and he's been done nothing? If if you bring in a guy that is, let's say you brought in a Ned Coletti or for namesake, Dave Dombrowski, top GM, comes in. Now everybody's expected to win. Now you're expected to sign guys, right? But do you think those guys would put up with the shenanigans of, all right, we're not paying any of these guys, these free agents, just find low-level deals. I mean, sometimes you got to do it, right? Sometimes you have to do it. I think Farhan's, he's doing the owner's bidding. I really do.
Yeah, he probably is.
Is it possible that ownership did talk to some baseball men and considered moving off of Farhan, but when the baseball men actually pushed back and didn't like any of the ideas the owners wanted to do and actually wanted to put together a competitive baseball team, ownership just said, nah, we can't have you. We'll stick with Farhan, who actually believes in what we're doing and is behind it. That may have happened behind the scenes.
Oh, sure. I could see that.
You know what I'm looking forward to? Brian Sabian writing a book. I'm sure that will be in it. Tyler, a wise guy, $5. Thanks, sir. MLB has some financial money issues, unlike the NFL, which is king and business is booming.
There we go.
You agree?
It's a good
NFL's
point.
better money as far as money wise compared to MLB.
NFL's just a monster when it comes to money. My God.
No, I'm just saying when he does, he's going to write a book. No, I mean if Coletti wrote a book, I'm guessing Sabian would.
How much do companies pay to run a 30-second commercial in the Super Bowl, and how much do they pay to run a 30-second commercial during the World Series? That'll tell you a lot.
Oh yeah, big difference. Yeah,
huge difference. My God.
And Ned talked about it in his book about how he had to navigate a tight budget towards the end of the McCourt era.
What was the name of that book, Eric?
The Big Chair.
Yeah, I want to get that. That looks.
It's good. You'll like it, Los.
Yeah,
you'll like it.
That looks really, really interesting.
Good
to read a book or a magazine on a computer once in a while.
We got a question for me here from.
It's a great book.
From Mike. Mike says, Dan, so the Giants didn't improve from last year? Answer me that. Okay, Mike, I'll answer you that according to, how about if we go look at Fangraphs? Let's take a look at the Giants. On the left column there, we'll blow this thing up here. Can you guys see the Giants there?
Basically a 500 ball club.
Last year, Mike, they were 79-83, 488. This year, they're projected to win one more game. So to answer your question, it looks like they did improve by a game. So everybody thinks the Giants are, with these signings, are getting so much better. Not according to the odds makers in Vegas and Fangraphs. 79 wins last year, Mike, projected to win 80. So,
as is right now.
Here we go with statistics. Well, what do you want to go with, Mike? You want to go with, how about if we just go with the odds makers? You think you know more than Vegas? Let's check let me look up what Vegas has to say.
I mean, Mike, in my opinion, the Giants have improved their lineup a little bit. There's some question marks, but I think their lineup is going to be better. The reason why they're not better right now is their rotation. It's just
yes, exactly.
It's just a bad rotation. You got Webb is their only top-notch pitcher. We don't know what Harrison is going to be. We don't know what Hicks is going to be. We don't know what Beck's going to be. Robbie Ray's not coming till the second half, and neither is Cobb. By that time, they could be 20 games under 500. That's why they're not better. It starts and ends with pitching, and the Giants do not have it right now. If they go get Montgomery, now we might be talking a little something. Montgomery over Snell in my book, but that's what they need. They would need Harrison to blow up and become like a Rookie of the Year candidate, and one of their other young pitchers, Whisenhunt Black, to step up. That's a lot to ask.
All right. He says, Jim says, stats. Ha ha. All right, Jim. Yes, I do think their lineup, as Lowe said, I'll agree. I think their lineup looks a little bit better. I was the one saying you got to get Soler, and I'm okay with Jung-Hoo Lee. I think they need contact hitters at the top of the lineup. But let's look at what the odds are for victories. These are 5 different websites. Mike, Dodgers. The number is 103.5. And that's, you can get anywhere from minus 115 to, or minus 110 all the way up to minus 125. So let's look at the Giants. Where do you think? I haven't looked at this, so this is going to be fresh for me too.
What are the Orioles, Dan?
They're like in the 80s, 89, 90, yeah.
I'm going over on that.
There's a lot of people who think they overperformed. I think it could be like a Giants 21 season where they won 107 and, you know.
As I was doing my studying, boy, they got some young talent.
Yeah.
Man, they got a nice future. Ooh.
Look at the D-backs. It's only at 84.5 in most places, 83.5.
They're thinking they're a fluke, and they got a little better than my eyes.
Oh, yeah. I would take the over on the Diamondbacks. I'm definitely. All right, we're getting closer to the Giants here, I think. Okay, there you go.
500.
81.5. So if you bet the over for the Giants, let's see what the under is. Oh, no, that's just bet now. Okay, so 81.5. If you bet, you need to bet 110 to win 100. Look at that. Over. You get plus money. That means they believe they're under. Right, Los?
Right.
So plus, Mike, 81.5. The odds makers are giving you plus money.
Better odds to go over, which means they don't think that they will.
Yeah, they think they'll pay you if they go over.
A little extra.
You'll make more money if they go over and you bet the over. You don't make as much money. They think Vegas has them under 81.5 across the board. Has them under. So that means that Vegas and Fangraphs and pretty much everybody else thinks the Giants are a 500 team. And that's kind of what we've been telling you for quite a while. And I wonder where they had the Padres on there, because that'll tell us where the where Padres are the same, 81.5. But it's all minus to go over. So they think they're going, yeah. Interesting. All right. Well, that about wraps it up for us tonight, guys. We are going to call it a night. But we'll be back tomorrow, and then Thursday, not sure if I'll do a show.
Oh, Eric's the favorite in ping pong. Nice.
That's right. Hot off the presses.
Who put those odds out, Eric?
I don't know.
That's an overwhelming favorite, Dan. Eric's at minus 1,000.
Yeah, let's see him put some real money on it.
Ooh.
Oh, I'll put real money on it.
Did you see that? Did you see that ping pong guy that?
Yeah, the old man.
Can you beat him?
I could beat him.
No, serious.
I could beat him. I'm serious. I could beat him.
No way.
Yes, because you know why? The other guy wasn't painting the edges, man. He was just putting it straight back to him. He kept hitting him straight to this happy zone every time. He wasn't
all those
trying
slams that you could hit back.
I can protect slams. Yep.
Oh shit, I'm not gonna play you then. If you're better than that guy, I'm not playing. Why should I?
You're talking about the old guy just standing there, right?
I'll play you.
I'll play him, but
Yeah.
I guess if he's that good, got to hand it to you because that guy was schooling that guy.
He was, but he kept doing the same thing. The guy kept serving it right back to his freaking happy spot every time. Did you see the guy he stood in one place?
Yeah, but he didn't. He was on the defense the whole time. He couldn't get it. He just had to.
But the guy wasn't hitting the corner. That's a problem. He was hitting it straight to like within the middle third of the damn table.
Yeah, I would send you back and forth. I would play both.
I never hit straight.
Yeah, I don't. I like to play the sides. So
it will be interesting.
Hey, Los, I know if you want, it's going to be kind of late because I'm going to go on after this show doing a presidents with military experience tomorrow. Going to focus on 3 presidents: Washington, Teddy Roosevelt, and Ulysses S. Grant. So if you want to hop on, you can. It's going to be, like I said, it might be late on your end. We're getting close to changing time, so it won't be so bad.
We could wrap up NorCal maybe a little bit earlier. So
we'll wrap it up early for that. Sure. Well, we can go 45 minutes to an hour. 1 hour.
Yeah, sure. It's up to you guys. It don't matter.
Hey, man, there's not a lot to talk about. Thursday night, I may take the night off. I got a Warriors-Lakers game. That's the first of the.
Oh shit, that's right.
I want to watch that, so I'm probably not going to do a show Thursday.
Sure.
But you talking about military there, presidents?
We're going to talk about presidents who had military experience. I want to because there's a lot.
Trump wasn't military. He's got a lot of. He blew a lot of stuff out of his. You know what? There, blowing smoke.
Yeah, he's got a lot of blokes smoking. Absolutely.
Come on, there's a lot of blowing smoke there, and
who are the 3 again?
I'm going to focus. I'm just focusing on Washington, Grant, and Teddy Roosevelt. And if you want to, you could come in and chip in on JFK because he was.
I know. Kennedy.
I knew you. I know your sweet spot. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a sucker.
I'm trying to think of another. How about Eisenhower?
Eisenhower's great, but there's a little bit different. The reason why, I'll tell you why there's a difference with Eisenhower. Washington, he was at the front line.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Grant at the front line. Roosevelt, he charged San Juan Hill. So it's a little bit different. Don't get me wrong, Eisenhower's good, but he was more the guy at the strategic level. These guys were both.
How about George Herbert Walker Bush flying planes?
He got shot down, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thomas Jefferson, yeah.
Bill Clinton.
But the problem is, Jim,
Bill Clinton
Thomas Jefferson was in Paris during the entire American Revolution.
Mike says Bill Clinton. Wasn't he a draft dodger?
Oh, dear God.
Wasn't he a draft dodger?
He played a great saxophone.
Yeah.
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 On Saturday Night Live or something.
I remember that. Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Bush Jr., he served in the Air National Guard.
We can talk presidents all day.
Yeah, we could go on to the president thing. I'll come on your show and talk president because I have a lot.
Yeah, you guys want to come on? You're more than happy.
I have a lot to say. Just when you do a current events on this current race, I'll tell you.
Oh Lord, oh Lord, come on.
I'll bring my views on there, man.
Because we could really get into it over there. Because even though that's gonna be my specific topic, I'm definitely gonna hit on what's going on with current events. And yes, Chardal.
Right. Then I might have to just pop in and say, gosh, I'm just like, I'll just say this. It amazes me that we have a country of 300 million people and we got 2 looking of these. I mean,
yep.
I mean, you got to be kidding me that this we can't do better than this.
I know. Hey Jim, if we do NorCal tomorrow at 8:30 and we say we go an hour, so we'll say around between 9:15 and 9:30 tomorrow night Pacific.
Yeah, we'll cut it to an hour for sure tomorrow.
Sure.
I mean,
there you go.
Tonight we kind of
It's been a couple of days since we've been on. Yeah,
we're just covering, and there's nothing really to cover tomorrow unless there's a signing. Okay,
unless there's a signing, right?
Unless there's a signing, we'll just be an hour just to make an appearance.
Yep,
but that's enough.
Chase has a super chat. Sorry about that, Chase. That's
oh, my bad. Here we go.
Let's recognize you, buddy.
Chase Thanks, Broberg. I like that last name. Broberg. Can you talk about the aura of the team, of the Good Giants?
Word. Aura could go a lot of different ways.
Well, let me do this here, guys. Let me
thought-provoking. I like that. Thought-provoking.
Let's end it on that, but let's do this for our let's just bring this up here, guys, and so we can have a little bit of discussion on this.
I can answer that or give
the meaning of aura, the distinctive atmosphere or quality that seems to surround and be generated by a person, thing, or place. You know, I'm glad you brought that up because I was thinking of this earlier tonight, and I actually was thinking, and I haven't been down there. I wish I could be covering, but I do think the atmosphere on this team is much 100% improvement. Could be almost a 180 compared to Kapler of last year.
Yeah, you could speak to that, Dan. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just telling you, Gabe Kapler sitting down with him was like, it was just like, you know, you felt like, man, it's just like, you could hear, it's just stressful. It's just like, just no lightheartedness, no connection with people, just really poor people skills the guy had. I'm not saying he's an idiot because he's probably a brilliant mind and probably, you know, I don't know him personally, so I'm not going to, you know, I'm not going to derade the character of the man. I'm just going to tell you that he was difficult to communicate with. He was, it was tense. It was, I think it rubbed off on the team. I think this team is going to be much lighter. I think it has more belief. I think there's a positivity around Bob Melvin. I think the players are just probably more excited and more ready to play harder. I think they're going to know what their roles are as they go along. And I think there'll be just a greater respect for Melvin. So I think as far as the aura goes, I think it's positive this year. I get the feeling that Melvin and his staff, Matt Williams, Pat Burrell, is it Brian Price, I believe it is, pitching coach. I think there's just a lot more professionalism and just getting rid of some of the geekiness of what surrounded the Giants and their, you know, their whole coaching staff. It felt like it was, to me, it felt like it was more of a lower tier, lower rung on the totem pole of professionalism. Even though there was professionalism, I just don't think the staff was that experienced. And I don't think Kapler was as engaged and had his finger on the pulse of what was really happening with the team. He kind of let Kai Correa do the thing, and he let the players just. I think this year's team has a much better direction. So the question would be, does that translate into wins and losses? It could. It could help a couple. Wouldn't surprise me if the Giants won 82, 83 games this year. We'll see. Hey, let's hope. Right, Los?
You know,
let's hope they make the playoffs.
So my viewpoint on the aura of this team is, I think this is one of the most important years in Giants baseball. This is an iconic franchise, one of the more iconic franchises in the history of baseball. And I know teams on the East Coast and fans of the East Coast might kind of spit on that, but it's true. It is very true. This is one of the most passionate, knowledgeable fan bases in baseball. And Giants fans are not a big fan of analytics. Giants fans love their young, homegrown players. This team not only didn't really win much last year, it did not play with a lot of emotion. Giants fans want to see their young hitters hit a double to right center, scoring 2 runs at second base, and start raising his fist with emotion. And that was lost the last couple of years because they have a computer. They had a computer as a coach, and they have a computer as a GM. So the Giants got to get back into. Oh, thank you for the spotlight. The Giants got to get back into being the type of organization and players that we are accustomed to as a fan base. So I think it's huge. They could win the same amount of games, guys, as last year, but it's the way they do it. We don't want to see our star young players pinch hit 4 in the 5th or 6th inning. We want to see our starting pitchers, our young guys, we want to see them evolve. And if they struggle, that's okay, because we see a ray of hope at the end of the tunnel. We see, okay, they learned this year. They might get better next year, because that's how Giants fans are. They see progression. They need to see progression from this team.
Yep.
And progression is by letting young guys learn on the job and get better. So if they win, if they're 500, but they're getting better, and we can see a path to being a contender in a year or two, Giants fans would be all for that. Trust me, they will be. They're a lot more knowledgeable than people give them credit for. So that's the aura I see on the team, and they got to come out fast and show that they're that kind of a team.
Well said, Los. And I put you in the spotlight. Don't ask me how I did it.
Well, I appreciate it.
I was trying to bring everybody bigger, and you popped up. I said, hey, that looks pretty good. So now I'm going to see if I can bring Eric in here for the final thoughts. Let me see if I know how to do this.
Final
All right,
thoughts.
Eric.
You want me to? Here, I got it. There you go. Final
How'd
thoughts.
you do that? How'd you do that?
I drug you. See, you just drag people with the. Look at that.
How are you
Man,
doing
look at
that?
that.
What are you touching? Okay.
I just hold your screen, throw you over there, and there you are. See? There it is. Final thoughts. Hey, let's check this out. This will get the goosebumps going a little bit here.
Is that throwing Hicks? No,
Not sure.
It's
I think so. There's Harrison.
Great spot.
Doval. Yeah. Totally different sound. There we go. I like that. I like that.
There we go. Hey,
like
baseball's starting, man. Hey, hope springs eternal,
Hope springs eternal for spring. That's kind of like, that's what I like.
Giants are right now, man. When they get going, they are tied for first.
Yep.
They're tied for first. And hopefully, like I said earlier, want to see them get off to stay around 500. And then by the end of May, hopefully they're over 500. I just don't want to see them 6-7 under, and then
you don't want to get buried deep or early in the season.
Well,
not with this division.
Not with this.
Yeah,
I
don't want to see them
The Padres are going to bounce back, and they're going to be a good team this year.
I don't want to see them where they're 6-7 under, and then all of a sudden they're chasing. And if they're within striking distance near the All-Star break, and they can add, make them bet, hey. That'd be great. I think it's going to be an open season for a lot of teams competing for wild card spot number 5 and 6. There's 6 teams that make it. I think 4 teams that will be in it for sure. Well, I'll name 3 that I can pretty much be a lock. It'll be the Dodgers, Braves, and Phillies. I don't know who the other 3 is. I believe, somebody's got to win the National League Central, whether that's the Cubs or Milwaukee or St. Louis, or who else is in that division? Who am I forgetting?
Cubs, Milwaukee, St. Louis,
Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Yep, Cincinnati.
So-
Cincinnati.
Okay. I mean, Cincinnati, who knows is going to win that Central? We know it's going to be the Dodgers in the West. They're in. The Braves will win the East. Phillies will be up there for a wild card. So it really, those last 3 spots, figure one of them is, that's why I say the last 2. Somebody's got to win the Central. So who becomes the last 2 wild card spots? Is it the Diamondbacks one? Is it the Mets? Is it going to be the Padres, Reds, Dodgers? I mean, not Dodgers, Reds, Giants. I think that last spot or 2, we're going to talk about that like we did last year in September. I think the National League's weak. So Giants, who knows? Who knows? We saw the Diamondbacks get in there, but we'll talk about that much later. Tomorrow night we'll come on. Not sure what the subject's going to be. We'll wrap a little bit, and it won't be a long show unless there's a signing of significance. And then Thursday, I think we're going to take off. If Eric, you want to do a show Thursday, go ahead. I'm gonna watch.
I'll definitely do one tomorrow. I know people are dying. Yeah. I want to, because I'm gonna kind of tie it in with President's Day and everything.
Oh, I mean, if you wanted to do NorCal Thursday, I meant.
Oh yeah, maybe I will. Yeah, we'll see.
Keep the thing rolling.
Sure.
But anyway, for Los, for Eric, Dan Cochimilio signing off. You guys have a great one, everybody.